So I want to present you Simona Botner from Google Cloud. And today she will present us the Kubernetes resources optimization. And I think that's an actual topic that interests more of us because in a lot of systems we use Kubernetes and we overload the resources many times. So thank you and good luck.
Thank you. First of all, my name is Simona Botner. I'm happy to be here. I'm a customer engineer. I'm with Google for the last 2.5 years. Now I'm covering public sector for Central Eastern Europe, covering also Romania. And yes, you will ask me what has in common cloud and public sector. And trust me, it has. You just need to find the right people. I don't know if you are reading the press. If you are reading, it's okay. If you are not reading the press, it's fine. So last year, I was the one that implemented the project for Ministry of Environment in Romania with Gemini. You should Google it. It's really nice. And also because I know that right now we have the anxiety level really high. Also, I implemented a nice project, which is public, in Bulgaria with information services. They are streaming the elections. They are streaming exactly the moment when the ballots are counting using GCP, which is a really nice project, and I recommend you to Google it and search about it. But I'm in the IT industry for the last 15 years. I started as a technical engineer level 1. I was doing night shifts. I was like the engineer that was calling and was saying in NX data, just move the kernel VM machine just to find out what happened there. So let's say that I have also experience with on-premise and cloud from the beginning. Now I'm covering Central Eastern Europe for public sector, but in a couple of weeks I'm moving to Google Distributed Cloud, which is a nice product solution from Google Cloud, by the way, based on Kubernetes. The same, I recommend to Google it, to search about it. Today, I have this topic prepared for you. It's introducing Kero. This is the way that needs to be pronounced. I have to admit that the easy way is Kro. I tend to say it like that. But let's see what it's all about. I have prepared this agenda. I need to pass to config connector first, KCC, and after that we will get to Kero. What is important to mention is like a disclaimer that I want to say at the beginning. In my presentation, I'm using a lot of GCP products because this is what I'm using, this is what I'm working with. Developers scare me because I'm a professional cloud architecture and I need to provide all the infrastructure that they need. But keep in mind that Kero is agnostic. So keep in mind that a lot of things can be replaced with what you already know, including AWS, Microsoft, or even operators that you are building by your own. So keep that in mind. I'm not trying to be biased even if I'm working at Google Cloud. So I'm open to any suggestion and things like that. Don't try to correct me. Just keep in mind that it can be replaced, of course. So Kubernetes architecture, first of all. The architecture is pretty simple. You give it some servers. You call those servers nodes, and Kubernetes will run and manage containers for you across those servers. And the Kubernetes masters, as I'm showing on the screen, is the brain of all of this. And together they are called a Kubernetes cluster. I don't know why it's doubling the slides, but just a second. Okay, the control plane. And today, we'll look closer at the Kubernetes master, which is also known as the control plane. It hosts 4 main components, but today we'll touch base only on 2, the first one and the last one. So the API server, which handles all communications, all plane communications. This is actually with what kubectl talks to. But also other clients are talking to the API server. And the last one, ATCD, which is the control plane data store, key value database, let's call it like that, like YAML is key value. So this is where your Kubernetes configuration is stored. Let's move further to the Kubernetes philosophy. I will not start with the history saying that Google is the father or the mother of Kubernetes, call it as you wish. It started back in 2014, but I will not start with that. But it's important, as in any systems, the fundamentals are always important to keep in mind. And first, I want to point that Kubernetes is declarative, so meaning that you can configure your desired state and trust that the system will know what to do. So you are just expressing your intent. Second, it's extensible, so it's allowing you to have a high customization, a high degree of customization. And third, it's universal or agnostic, providing a common language or describing any kind of resource. And now that we reviewed all this, and I was mentioning agnostic and agnostic again, just a second, okay. We will touch base on Kubernetes resource model. So I was mentioning before in the previous slide that Kubernetes is declarative. So it's specifically designed to manage state. And it's important to keep in mind because the Kubernetes API server makes managing state really, really easy. So first, it supports all those verbs, post, put, delete. We are all familiar with this. And second, the shape of the data or state, it's specified in resource definition. So actually deploy means sending YAML files to the API servers with those ATCD that I was mentioning. What's cool about Kubernetes in the end is that you can give the definition for a new resource and it will create an API actually for you that supports all those verbs, even custom APIs, of course. So you can have like this an all-purpose API platform. Just a second. Okay, and this is an example. This is an example actually of a Kubernetes resource definition. It's written in YAML, you are all recognizing it, and contains a lot of key fields. It has a bunch of labels, desired state, and this is how you are knowing that you are creating a new resource, a custom resource definition. Okay, and now I will speak a little bit about Kubernetes Config Connector, KCC. I was telling you at the beginning as a disclaimer that I'm pretty sure that you are familiar with other tools, and I can mention here, I don't know, Crossplane. Just to keep in mind that also you can use AWS. AWS has ACK, and Microsoft Azure has ASO, or even build your own, as I was saying. So keep in mind that other connectors are okay here. And here, how you can manage Google Cloud Services. This slide focuses on Kubernetes Config Connector, which is an open source project. And it's allowing you to manage Google Cloud resources, I have put here in the slide, through Kubernetes. It's a Kubernetes native infrastructure as code, IAC tool, and registers resources using CRDs, custom resource definitions. It's maintaining also CRDs and operators, which is also challenging. I don't know if you ever had this kind of problems, but you can have, I don't know, overload, out of storage, things like this can happen. So what KCC does, it translates the desired declarative state to imperative API calls. This slide includes a diagram of showing you how KCC interacts with GKE in our case, GCP APIs, and other Google Cloud services. And this is actually the interaction flow that I have put here in this diagram. And KCC enables fully supported GitOps workflows for Google Cloud. I wanted here to highlight the integration and all the workflow that is surrounding the Kubernetes Config Connector. And this is how it shows how configurations are managed and deployed using a GitOps approach. So it's incorporating KCC, it's providing you a secure access to cloud resources. So you have all the flavors or all the topics that you need in order to feel safe when you are using this. It's actually a workflow, a GitOps workflow that centralizes Kubernetes and Google Cloud configuration in a Git repository. And now when to use KCC as your infrastructure as code tool. So config connector KCC brings GCP to Kubernetes and is talking the services you see in cloud and wrapping them in a declarative Kubernetes API. And it's available after this to all your clients. So from my point of view, it's specifically highlighted as a choice. I don't want to call it an ideal choice, but it's a choice for platform administrators and app operators already utilizing Kubernetes. It is also well suited for managing services that undergo frequent CRUDs operations. If you're handling data services like, I don't know, storage buckets, SQL instances, and things like that, KCC brings GCP services into the Kubernetes ecosystem. And again, you have all the declarative wrapping. Config controller is a hosted platform, is used by customers to securely manage cloud resources via a GitOps model. It provides automated installation and upgrades for KCC, and also for policy controllers or config syncs. And it supports KCC open source software. Again, this config controller that I'm showing here in this schema allows efficient operations at scale, running of third-party workloads alongside with KCC workloads. So it's enterprise-ready solution, again, for managing cloud infrastructure with GitOps and Kubernetes tools. You have free installation options, config controller, manual, open source software install, and GKE add-on that we don't recommend because you have this, actually you don't have these updates. It's a little bit behind. Two licensing options, OpenSoft, again, OSS, no cost, and GKE Enterprise. I don't know if you are familiar with Google Kubernetes Engine or Anthos, if it's saying something to you. But at Google, we are hearing a lot about those. So what KCC brings as improvements? KCC supports over 350 resources and maintains 700 operators to map Terraform to KRM, which is quite complex, if you ask me. The team is transitioning right now to a new approach, is building KCC resources against the Google Cloud SDKs. So this new method will actually significantly improve the time it takes to generate stable resources. And we did some metrics. It helps you, it's actually 7-8 times more efficient, more faster. So keep that in mind. Okay, and now Kero. And what is Kero? Is an open source project and is designed to simplify application and infrastructure deployment and management also in Kubernetes. I have put this big statement on screen. Kero helps you create and manage custom resource definition and leverage existing operators to make it easier for your users. And let's see some examples and some use cases also with Kero and KCC. I was telling you that it's an open source project. It's developed by Google, AWS, and Microsoft. It's designed to create simple and secure developer interfaces for any cloud service. And a couple of key points that I want to take when you're leaving this room. Kero aims to define developer interfaces for various cloud services. Has multiple major cloud providers. What is important is that Kero uses resource graph definitions and custom resource definition, and is representing cloud services as Kubernetes resources. It works with various Kubernetes operators. I was mentioning KCC at the beginning from Google Cloud. I was mentioning ACK and ASO, as well as other operators. An example, a use case where we are having Kube Resource Orchestrator. Here I have put some not so inspired names, web application definition. So in this scenario, a DevOps engineer I used here in my example DevOps engineer or application platform people that are handling this. So in this scenario, we have a DevOps engineer that creates a reusable definition of a web application and its dependencies. It's packaged. I was telling you that, and I'm not good with names. Web app RGD, and this web app defines a web app custom resource definition, which includes, as you're seeing on the architecture, various Kubernetes resources and cloud resources. Again, I used example from Google, cloud storage buckets, SQL instances, and other things and other icons. So developers can then create instances of this web app custom resource definition by providing specific inputs. And these instances expand into actual Kubernetes and cloud resource managed by KCC. And actually what it does is simplifying web application deployment. I don't know if you are like sick of copy-paste, and management in a self-service manner, while the DevOps engineers focus on what they should do, and I don't know, while they're managing and monitor things, rather than staying and handling this kind of things. The second example, another use case that I have brought here with Kero, is focusing on GKE cluster definition. And here I'm using a platform administrator who creates a usable definition for creating GKE clusters. So here again, not so inspired names, GKE cluster RGD defines a GKE cluster, CRD, and also includes definitions, container node poles, identity access manager service accounts, identity access manager policies. So they can, developers can then create instances of this GKE cluster by providing their specific configuration. So again, these instances are expanding into the required Kubernetes and cloud resources, and it's allowing the developers to provision GKE cluster in a self-service manner. So in essence, Kero allows standard, simplified GKE cluster provisioning for developers. I have put here some top use cases that we have identified at the moment, because you will see in the next slides, Kero is in a really early stage. And I also have an invitation for you at the end, just because it's in this early stage. So you can build some internal developer platforms with KCC plus Kero, defining applications if this is your use case, or creating app team environments. And here I have put it like a couple of examples of use cases with KCC plus Kero. And you can see how these tools can empower, again, developers. Essentially, we are using KCC alongside on orchestration layer to craft custom APIs that developers can leverage on their own. So if you ask me, this process and this model streamlines a lot the experience that you are having. So I don't know, imagine a management cluster where our cloud APIs and resources, I don't know, PubSub and whatever you are familiar with, are managed via KCC. And now, having Kero, we can create custom interfaces, and these interfaces are essentially pre-configured templates, because also it's important to mention this name, templates, for me makes a lot of sense, or even models that are abstract way with all this complexity of interacting with actually those services directly. So this is how you can build an internal developer platform using those two, KCC plus Kero, allowing your own developers from the team to provision and manage resources easily for whatever they want to build. Just a second. Okay, the use case number 2, it's creating developer environments with KCC. Also here I am showcasing another application of KCC plus Kero. So in this scenario, it's about platform teams using KCC to define repeatable and consistent environments for application teams. Again, my app team environment, this is the name predefined. And what I want to say here is that we are not speaking just about deploying an application. It's also about setting up an entire development environment. So you can have a blueprint or a template, as I was saying, that includes everything that a development team must have or needs to have in order to get started. So provides standardization, having this compliance, because we are speaking also about compliance, I don't know, in whatever industry you are activating. And once the environment is created, you can use these predefined patterns by the platform team created, and the development team gets full ownership of their cluster, which is really nice because you are empowering people, developers, which are highly skilled to have everything, to have actually a faster onboarding and reduces the setup time and things like that. So I don't want to brag about the benefits, but for sure it has a couple of benefits that you should take into consideration. I was mentioning at the beginning that I'm using GCP products. I'm not trying to sell something using all these Google Cloud services and products, but even if I'm part of a sales organization, but this is what I'm familiar with. So yes, in your mind, I'm pretty sure at your level that you are replacing with what you already know, so feel free to do that. And the last case, this case is actually pretty similar with the use case number 1, the one that I was mentioning, and to be honest, the one that I'm finding the most relevant. Building an internal developer platform, but here as a difference, you have a key difference here. The developer teams takes full ownership of their cluster and modules, even on the access and secret way and things like that. So it's a full ownership of their cluster. It's about moving from a purely platform-driven self-service model to a more distributed ownership model, where developers have the full control, with greater control over their specific infrastructure components. And while the management cluster here, okay, I'm showing, still holds cloud APIs, which are managed by KCC, potentially uses Kero to define my app team environment. And here actually is the shift that empowers the developers. Because here in this use case that I'm showing on the screen, the developer team actually directly manages KCC resources within their own application cluster, as you're seeing on the screen. So they can even create their own resource graph definition. So yes, you are giving them full power if you want to do that. I have just put it here on the slide like a summary. I know that it's a wordy slide. I don't like them, but I was thinking just to compress everything. Here are the core benefits and functionalities of Kero, which aims to provide app teams with self-service infrastructure, which are actually, I don't know how you are finding this, but from my point of view, these things are essentially for developer-facing interfaces. So this is how I am seeing it. Provides you also with flexible templating, also, and you have a consistent cloud resource management, which is easy to track, by the way. Now, Kero, key features. We launched together with AWS and Microsoft and the big cloud providers. We launched it at the beginning of the year. I think it's January or February as a timeline. This is alpha release. Oh, it has January. I was saying January or February. Okay, I read about it in February. Okay, so the alpha release is focused on enabling developer self-services by grouping Kubernetes resources based on their outcomes. I have put it here on the slide. Is defining the user input parameters, and it's providing templates that can be reused. While they are hiding all the, I don't know, chaos and complex logic behind. What I want to say here is that we are expecting a beta version. Now, I don't want to say this quarter, but half of 2025 we'll have beta. And next year, I'm expecting to find a, let's call it, more stable version of Kero. If you are asking me if you can use Kero right now in production, I will say no, because it's experimental. So in the end, what I want to invite you all is to participate actually to it. So keep that in mind if you want to put your shoulder building Kero. I'm providing here also an example. I want to show you how it looks because it's not just a theoretical concept, it's a practical solution. Has a realistic workflow, and here you can see how Kero streamlines the interaction between platform admins and developers. Once again, I'm mentioning these personas. And here is the final ecosystem, the broader ecosystem integration, and also future direction involving KCC and Kero within the context of GitOps tooling and GKE Enterprise. Here on this slide, you can see, and it's highlighting actually, how you have this collaborative nature of the environment, how it's involving both developers and platform admins, and how these tools, these open source tools, softwares, are actually working with other operators, any cloud providers. Essentially portrays the full picture of this ecosystem. Here is my invitation. I was telling you that Kero is still in experimental mode. We are more than happy to receive feedback. Also, I don't have any other public information or more official information to share with you than this, but you can be part and influence, for sure, the roadmap. So if you are really into this, just have a look here. I don't have anything to present about it. I hope that you liked it. And I'm pretty sure that you had identified in my presentation a lot of common points with tools that you are already known and use. So I don't know, if you have questions, just feel free to ask it.
If anyone has questions?
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for your presentation. I have a question. I didn't really understood the Kero part. So let's take a practical example. I have a Kubernetes cluster. Let's say I'm using whatever cloud provider, in your case, Google Cloud. I have the GCC operator, which allows me to define whatever service in Google Cloud from Kubernetes. What's the added value of Kero?
So first of all, Kero is Kubernetes native. He is like native built on Kubernetes. Not actually, I know that I saw a lot of comparison on the website, on the internet actually, on Google, compared with Crossplane and other things that are cloud native. They are Kubernetes native. So you can create your own custom operators with this custom resource definition, and you can manage cloud resources really easily. By benefits or What extra things do you want to?
So it basically abstracts the layer behind the Kero. It can be a GCP cloud or an AWS cloud. It makes
Can
this
be the
abstraction.
resources. Yes, it connects to it. But we should look deeper in an architecture or something that I have, just to see exactly how the workflows are.
Okay.
We can look at it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
So, what's the problem that Kero is trying to solve that it was not already solved by Crossplane or Creatix or Kubevela?
So, first of all, I was mentioning the Kubernetes native approach to managing cloud resources. And also, what Kero needs to solve is a more unified and abstract approach that, I don't know, Crossplane has and others. So this is what it wanted to solve. And also being an agnostic thing, like everyone can participate and be part of it. Like not just unique solutions just for a piece, trying to involve everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there other questions? Okay, please.
Yes.
Is Kero compatible or will it be compatible with automated code review via LLM?
I don't know yet, because right now we are building the roadmap and I don't know in which direction it can go, to be honest. At the moment, I cannot say yes or no, because let's call it that it's a so flexible topic that I cannot say it.
Okay, other questions? Okay.
Yes.
So every cloud provider has to implement its own API through Kero, or it's something that the project itself manages, and you try to cover as many cloud providers as possible.
Are you referring what? Every cloud provider?
Every cloud provider has to make his implementation of Kero, so you can use their services, their storage, their anything. Or is the Kero that it's trying to make it as generic as possible?
Yes,
and
yes.
configure all the...
So Kero tries to be as a single pane of glass, if we're mentioning to that, and after that you can communicate with others. But we need to, honestly, we need to touch it in order to see how granular it goes and how you can connect multiple cloud providers. To be honest, I didn't play with it at this level, combining multiple cloud providers to see how, I don't know, it touch bases the resources from AWS or Microsoft, but we can check that.
Okay, I was thinking about different cloud providers having different attributes that need to be set. Take the case of Terraform, where you have multiple plugins for each cloud provider, and that's what I was wondering, how it's structured, what's the architecture that you plan or you have?
I cannot say at the moment. The idea is that Kero, for sure, it doesn't want to replace something that, like Terraform or something like that, so yes, it's something that it's in development, so
okay.
we should check. I was trying actually before this presentation to identify some things about the roadmap, but they were saying that my peers together, the work group, was saying that they will be launching this beta version now in the second part of the year, and they will announce it, so I wasn't able to find more things.
Okay, thank you.
You mentioned that it will be managing these cloud resources like GKE Cloud Storage and the AWS equivalents and Azure equivalents. Do you know of any plans for it to manage more higher level resources like GCP projects, policies at an account level in AWS, things of that nature?
No, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, but I will try to find out. If you are, we can connect and I will try to find out, but I don't know at the moment.
Thanks.
Thank you also. And sorry for staying here, but I was just hearing noises and I was like, I need to stay here because the stage is
Okay, other questions first?
making sounds.
Hi, so correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, through the use of KRO, you can define sort of some templates for some complex deployments, and you can also add definitions for custom resources, such as, I don't know, cloud resources through
Yes.
the providers that you mentioned. So, and from what I understand, you can then, let's say, give this template to a developer team, and instead of them having to manage every single aspect independently, they just provide a value file or something, and they just get, let's say, those values get applied for that specific environment. So why not use something like Helm or customize for that? Why?
As I was telling at the beginning, I know that we are having Helm, Crossplane, whatever on the market. They are not trying to replace those things, but I'm giving you just an example for Helm. Imagine that Helm has this feature add-on with a lot of charts that you are like, I don't know, I'm asking you, you are building your own charts?
Yes.
You are taking, oh, nice, nice, nice. I was thinking that you are taking whatever is possible. So Kero doesn't have these layers that Helm has with charts, which is actually nice. It's simplifying the work. It's more flexible and it's simplifying actually these things. We can, I don't know, if you want, we can put like a battle card between Kero, Helm, and other things, and we can see what Kero has and what the other doesn't have. The idea is this. They want to be more flexible. They don't want to have extra layers that you don't need. So we can put some battle cards and see exactly what is generating here.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to have a comparison between the solutions. So.
Yes, we can try. The main idea is that it's not trying to replace something. It's trying to make it more simple, exactly for this kind of use cases.
Thank you.
Thank you also.
Okay, are there other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Simona, also.